figure that we're going to play with this afternoon is going to be the Age of Apocalypse Cyclops from the Build a Figure wave of Colossus. Not your latest and the greatest, and of course this action figure is on clearance at your selected GameStops and Targets. Depends on availability, of course. So when I got this, it was $6.89. So basically, this is the Age of Apocalypse Marvel Legends Cyclops figure. Just a warning, I already took out the visor from this unit, this specific action figure, for another purpose, which I'm going to show on later. But basically, this is how the figure looks. Very plain, very drab, all light blue and gold. Now let's do a visual 360 of the base figure. So it's just way too blue. So there's no separation on the boot line. The hands are just way too big. There's limited articulation, of course, because of the bulk of the arms, especially the bionic arm, and the head sculpt, because of that really ginormous or bulky hair for that head. It hinders the articulation of the head sculpt. So all you could do is just a little bit of left and right motion. So why did I take the visor of this figure? My reason was to put on a scar mark on the other eye and place the visor back. But when I already tried putting a scar mark on this action figure on this side of the head sculpt, actually, and it really did not matter if you had that scar mark, because this hair piece actually still covers it and the yellow visor, so it's really not as visible as you want it to be. So instead of putting back the visor, I still have other uses for this head sculpt, so I would employ the visor in another action figure. Okay, so with the issues that I mentioned, let's put in the updated version. So Age of Apocalypse Cyclops 2.0. So let's first do a visual 360 of the figure. Okay, so parameters or objective of the custom kit bash, or whatever you want to call it thing. My purpose is not to deviate or stray away so much from the Age of Apocalypse Cyclops design, but to build on the present stuff that are already on the figure, and possibly just change some things that would really make it stand out. So let's put the other figure in. So first thing that I did was to boil these action figures. So hot water, boil and pop method to take the figure apart. So piece by piece, I disassembled this action figure and found ways to really mix and match parts. At first, I thought that adding a gold boot to the action figure would help in the gold pieces that are attached to the figure. But the gold boot from the Marvel Legends Vulcan figure, which is also on clearance right now, is not just a custom fit for this action figure for the Bucky Cap body mold. The boot is just way too big. It did not fit right. So I had to find another action figure donor in my collection. So it's going to be the Union Jack figure. So actually, on this figure, this is no longer the original piece, the arms, and as you could see, the boot on this action figure I already placed on this updated version of my Cyclops Age of Apocalypse 2.0. So actually, if you take a look at this Union Jack figure with the light blue boots from this figure, it stands out, and with the Marvel Legends Vulcan arm. So moving back to the Age of Apocalypse figure. Okay, so boil and pop method. The next thing that I did was to replace the handsets, because the handsets on this figure, if you don't employ the boil and pop method or hair dryer method, it's just way too impossible to really pull those handpiece out of the sockets. And as you could see, they are really big compared to the ones that are attached to the figure now. And the next thing that I did was to just reverse the belt and the shoulder strap system and add just a little bit of piece of equipment that is from a G.I. Joe Classified Series action figure, the strap system, which I already did not use, so I just cut off that portion and glued it to the shoulder strap of this Cyclops figure. So something that pays homage to the Jim Lee design. So that's it, because my reason was there's just way too much weight on this side of the figure. So you have a bionic arm, you have a really weighty or thick shoulder strap system on this arm too, outbalancing this side of the figure. Plus you really have thick hair, which, because you have a thick hair on this side and a very thick shoulder piece, it somehow limits the articulation of the figure, the headpiece I mean. So what I did was just to reverse the shoulder strap. So from the left, I placed it to the right. Of course, I had the shoulders taken off, the legs taken off, so also the head. So it was just easy to really resituate this piece to the right side. Okay, by putting it on the right side, somehow the figure feels more balanced. Now, with the shoulder strap on the right side, this side really stands out well. Plus, with the new handsets, they match the darker colored boots. So darker colored gloves, darker colored boots. And the last thing that I did was, as you could see, that's a really thick hair for the head sculpt compared to the one that I have on right now. So just easy employment of the X-Acto knife to give this guy a haircut. This right now, you have really nice range of motion, looking left and right, looking down, and head tilts looking up. Okay, the head scalp popped off, but oops, again. So it's okay. So as you could see, we really have an improvement in the head tilts section. So you could let this figure look up more compared to this one, wherein we have a really thick hair set. So just a comparison between the old one and the new one with the haircut. So instead of putting a scar mark with just a Sharpie or whatever paint marker that you have on board, I just opted to do another head sculpt aside from the one that I already modded, wherein I gave this head sculpt a haircut. So presenting my other head sculpt for this Age of Apocalypse Cyclops figure. So if you don't wish to use this head and present this figure this way, this is more visible that he only has one eye, Cyclops. So the other eye is why is just shut. You only have a single source beam for Cyclops. So instead of having a scar, just put the Union Jack head sculpt on this action figure and place the visor that was on this headpiece to that head sculpt. So plus you have a really clean looking design, just an alternative to how you would want your Age of Apocalypse to look like. So more traditional with this head, or a little bit more flair with this other headpiece. So options for your play time. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next custom action figure review.